Yeah. So basically, obviously, I'm not going to repeat what I just told you because we don't want,
Right.
uh, controversy about that. But yeah, the government definitely knew that New York had a case a while ago because I'm just reading in the news that the woman had visited Iran and now she has been sent back to her house. I guess she's under quarantine at her own house.
Mhm.
So that means she was tested 100%, and there's a lab in Albany which does the testing. And
Oh, right.
and then I
Isn't
think
that
they
the one
also,
right there by
yeah,
the law school? Yeah.
yeah, exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. Some of my friends work there
Mhm.
at that lab, the Wadsworth lab. And then um, it seems the protocol that I'm reading in the news elsewhere is you send a sample to Atlanta, Georgia, at the CDC, to the CDC, and the CDC confirms it, whether it is a coronavirus um, strain,
Mhm.
COVID-19 or whatever they call it, right?
Right.
So yeah, so they knew about this. They were not transparent. So they're very quick to hide. And Trump is on a completely different tangent. He's very quick to take credit for banning and all that. Dude, sure, you can take credit. Nobody's saying no, but at least wait till the game is done.
Yeah. Too early.
You're already celebrating. The
Mhm.
game has just started. You're already celebrating a win. That's not how
Right.
this works.
Yep.
And then instead of him talking so much and the secretary, Azar or whatever his name is, talking so much,
Mhm.
they should have had the CDC doctor, that lady who was practically, being just blocked from everybody's view by these guys. Put her front and center and let the people ask her questions, and they should have been basic questions. And Trump is telling people that they should get away if people are sneezing and wash their hands or whatever. That's not his role. He should have had the doctor say all that. But anyways, man, they're quick to hide, right, all these things,
Mhm.
but they're very slow to react. Now, see if you agree with this. What they should do, at least in New York, or pretty much every school, every public school, every school in every state, shut them down for 2 weeks. That'll put the brakes, like just slam the brakes on the spread, because kids are going to spread it much faster if their family member has it and they get it, because they touch noses. That's why they call petri dishes, right? Kids
Mhm.
bring home infections.
Right.
Slam it, slam the brakes on it. 2 weeks. Let the weather get a little warmer. Buy yourself some time. Yeah, it's spreading, but slow down the spread. Prevention is better than cure. They're arguing about $2.5 billion and then $8 billion, and the Democrats are telling the president that he should have asked for $8 billion. He's saying, "Sure, I'll take it." If they're fighting over billions of dollars like that, it's going to cost way more if people get infected than if they're allowed to work from home and anything that's avoidable.
Mhm.
You're not going to catch this at Walmart, shopping at Walmart, because you're not in close proximity of people that close, because this is droplet infection, right?
Right.
Somebody has to cough in your face, sneeze in your face, or they should have sneezed, coughed in their own hand, put it on a doorknob or let's even say Walmart, right? A shopping cart, and you
Right.
touch it, and then you immediately touch your nose.
Right.
So if you're going to Walmart and you're going to wash your hands and not touch your nose, you're not getting it at Walmart. But your office, when you're touching things and opening doors constantly all day, you are going to get it there.
Right.
So, public places, I don't think public places are going to be dangerous. It's as in large public places, shopping centers and malls. I don't think that's what's going to get you. What's going to get you, unless, of course, yeah, I understand malls, there are handles, door handles, and not those kind of things, but people just walking past each other. You're not within striking distance. But when you're in the office, you're in a conference room, you're talking to somebody, you're using a phone that somebody else is using and they've just sneezed or whatever on the phone. Those are the places. Close proximity public places, not big places. And there are a lot of places like Walmart. I know I'm not a proponent, complete supporter of self-checkout, but these are the times when self-checkout is going to help you because you're independent at your station, you're checking out, and you're leaving. You have no contact with the cashier.
Yeah, but you're touching that screen that everybody's touching.
Yeah, that's true. But the screen is not sneezing at you. You still are in control of your own body. As long as you don't touch your nose or start picking your nose right there and then, you're fine. And when you get in your car, put your groceries and use a hand sanitizer, wipe it down, and boom, you're good. People got to do this before it gets out of hand. And the government needs to. What happens if you shut down schools for 2 weeks? Mm-hmm. Nothing. We're not churning out Elon Musks every day and Newtons and Einsteins. Nothing's going. Even if they close it for a month, nothing's going to happen. It's all printed in the books. They can read at home. Nobody's discovering anything different than 9.8 meters per second square, right? That's it. I mean, on one hand, they're complaining the kids are dumb. We're not up to standard of whatever, China or India. They keep saying this. So what's the harm? At least they won't have coronavirus and be in a hospital. How much is that going to cost the nation?
Yeah, one of the, I don't know if you saw, there's a couple different things I've seen over the past few days. One was like an internal document, like a document from the Chinese, like CDC, that talked about infection rates and mortality rates, stuff like that. And then another one was just recently, I saw that somebody posted for a WHO, that they sent 25 international experts to China, and then they have their findings after 9 days, and they, I guess they published this. And there's a couple interesting things. One of the odd things though too about it is that the kids at the lower ages, like below 20 years old, is a very small amount of infected people, as a percent of population anyway. It's all in the 30 to 40-year-old range, and then above that, especially like the 50, like a gap, I guess. But whatever, and it's like seems like older adults anyway that it infects. And then the fatality rate's the highest when you're like in the 60s, 70s, right? Like older people, or if you're way old.
Yeah, they're going to be more susceptible. Yeah.
But apparently they, I haven't watched. I guess this is a publication based on the press conference that the WHO published that I have not. Oh, they have a PDF of the report too, so I haven't read through all that. I'm just looking at like the cliff notes of it. But
yeah.
They talked about China was, in the report at least, they talked about that China's approach, like locking everybody down, was like you're saying, was helpful, because it helps to keep it from spreading.
Yeah.
But they're like most countries aren't going to do that because they don't have that surveillance and that control over the population, and like to lock everybody down.
Yeah.
And
but the thing is, nothing works like fear. And you don't need to spread this fear. People are aware now, so knowledge will tell people. So we don't need to lock down people physically like they do in China. And perhaps China has to do that because of maybe a lower literacy rate. I'm not sure. In America, we don't have that problem.
Well, from what I feel like, you don't wait in line in China. You know what I mean? Like you just fucking push it in front of people, and you don't,
Right.
Yeah, stuff like that.
Right. And they're very highly populated, densely populated areas. In America, the outreach, it can be very efficient, very quick. Media is very powerful here. Internet, everybody is connected here. So getting the message across is not going to be very difficult. We don't have to physically lock down people like in China. We could just tell people, and they'll react. They'll say, "Sure, okay."
Mm-hmm.
If there's no school, nobody's going to school. You don't have to lock the children in. If they have nowhere to go, where are they going to go? They're going to stay at home.
You're right. They should. You know, that's what I would. That's.
Yeah, go ahead.
I think you're right. You know, I mean, they blocked off the borders to, you know, people coming in from the infected countries.
Yeah.
You know, I think they should have done even earlier. You know, they got to know more than we know, and just from what we know, it's like, this is like very highly infectious. Like, no matter how bad it is, you know, just whatever, just shut it down. Right? Tell everybody just stay home for 2 weeks. You know.
Yeah.
Stay home for 2 weeks. I mean, you know, practically, can everybody do that? Probably a lot of people can. Right, shut down school. Who cares, right? You're right. School.
Yeah.
That would cut off a lot of travel, and you know what the fuck are they doing in school anyway? Nothing.
Right.
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 That means mommy and daddy doesn't have to travel them around. Maybe the kids don't pass it around. You know, there's less movement.
Yeah.
And it's not like there's a lot of loss, right? The kids, like you said, we're not churning out Elon Musk's, and the kids aren't producing anything in the factory, so. You know, they're just getting babysat anyway.
Exactly.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Right, and if your kid is the next Elon Musk, then even more reason to keep him.
Right, then keep him out of there. Don't dumb him down anymore. Yeah. Don't confuse him.
Yeah, don't dumb him down. And secondly, don't kill him potentially.
Yeah.
You've been helping.
What did I'm going through these cliff notes here again. It was the apparently the decline in COVID-19 cases across China is real. That the epicenter of Wuhan was very where it was all centralized. The big teams there that were like checking everybody. You know, they produced those test kits very quickly, right? And got those out, so they're like testing everybody, taking temperatures, all that stuff. But they need to, because what's coming out here and everything that I've been hearing, right, that we've been talking about for the past couple of weeks, is that the severity of it. Like, I hear people downplaying it, like that's just another flu, but the severity of it isn't showing that. The severity of it is showing that it's worse. Like, people get it, it's highly contagious, and once you get it, the damage is pretty bad. Yeah.
Yes, the damage is very bad. It's not your regular flu. You need way more than what you do for the regular flu. The regular flu, you're only treating symptoms. Here you need antiviral drugs for it. You have to fight the virus. Your body is not able to fight the virus. So it's not a regular... Yeah, they shouldn't, man. This is the problem. Come out honestly and quickly about it.
Yeah.
I shouldn't have to spend 3 hours on the internet. Okay, I don't have to spend 3 hours. Okay, I have a science background. I understand these things. I look at a certain structure. I know, okay, they're talking about a virus or a bacterium, whatever. Okay. I'm a patent attorney. So I have that scientific IQ of knowing things or understanding things very, very fast.
Right. Well, but you studied also healthcare.
Yes.
Yeah.
But don't make other people such as mechanical engineers who don't study viruses on a regular basis, or somebody else. You know, I'm not saying people are dumb. I'm just saying people have different areas of expertise. Don't force them, don't compel them, or don't waste their time. Don't push them to spend about 6 hours researching this stuff.
Yeah.
It's pointless. You know, just give out the information, be straightforward about it, and get it done.
That would be nice, you know. Unfortunately, right, that's what's the info that's on, you know, besides the press conferences, the info that's on the CDC's website and stuff just shows kind of like, oh, it's, you know, whatever. Like, we have a low risk of infection, which of course is true for now because we barely have anybody here, you know what I mean, that has it.
Right.
And, you know, the fatality rates are low and all this stuff, like, of course, right? But if you look at China, at least the info that we have, right, where they're the ones who have the experience with it, it's showing, it's much different. They've got, again, right, healthcare system, 20% of infected people in China needed hospital treatments for weeks.
Yeah.
Fatality rate for those infected with pre-existing cardiovascular disease in China was 13%, 9.2 for those infected with high blood sugar levels, 8.4 for high blood pressure, 8% for chronic respiratory diseases, which probably includes asthma, 7.6% for cancer. Infected persons without or relevant previous illness died in 1.4% of the cases. That's still really high.
Yeah.
What else? 5%. Oh, there was some other stuff. Let's see. 5% of people who are diagnosed with COVID require artificial respiration. Another 15% need to breathe in highly concentrated oxygen, and not just for a few days. The duration from the beginning of the disease until recovery is 3 to 6 weeks on average for these severe and critically ill patients, compared to only 2 weeks for the mildly ill.
Yeah. So you tell me, how many times have you had a flu in your life? And how many times did you need all this?
Yeah, well, there was once or twice where I had the flu and I was pretty sure I was going to die, but it wasn't respiratory related. It was, it's like the other flu where you're like vomiting and you're, like that. And I was like, this might be the end. Right. This is the way I'm going to go. But I didn't go to the hospital.
Right, exactly. You still stayed at home and you came out of it. Your body was able to fight it. It's the thing, vomiting. Was it the stomach flu they call, or you actually had the fever flu, influenza?
Yeah, like a fever, like a bad. I remember one. It was actually when I was in Albany. That is really bad flu, and that was really sick.
Because see, if you get the stomach flu, which is actually not influenza, it's gastroenteritis. Mm-hmm. If you get that, you may have the same symptoms, but that has nothing to do with that,
Right.
But even then, your body recovered. And regular flu, man, you can fight it.
Right.
There are some strains which you can't, and this is exactly one of those.
Yep. 80% infected have mild disease. So most people, mild. The most common symptoms are fever, 88%, which is why they're testing everybody's temperature out there. If anybody who's been watching videos, that's what they do in China, right? Test the temperature. Dry cough, 70%. Exhaustion, 40%. Expectoration of mucus from coughing, 33%. Shortness of breath, 18%. Sore throat, 14%. Headaches, 14%. Muscle aches, 14%. Chills, 11%. Are also common. Less frequent are nausea and vomiting, 5%. Stuffy nose, 5%. Diarrhea, 4%. And the nausea and vomiting and diarrhea is what I heard is once you're severe, which makes sense for the low percentages. Because once you're severe, it's your autoimmune system going crazy and attacking everything, and then they're having liver failure issues with their gut and having diarrhea and shit.
Yeah.
So, no, you're right.
Seriously, they need to go on. Yeah, it needs to be a 2 or 3 week, not a lockdown on the entire country where people move around, but shut down the schools, for God's sake.
Yeah, you're right. This is an unknown novel, not just called the novel coronavirus, but it's a novel disease, right? And that it's new, it's unknown, we don't know about it, so they may call for novel or unique circumstances, right? Like you said. So what? Shut school down for a couple weeks,
Right.
Pay the teachers. What's that going to cost? Pay all the teachers in the U.S. for 2 weeks unpaid. It's going to cost $1 million, probably. It's not going to cost much. Keep the kids out of school. You shut down some movement. Shut off the international flights to these other places. Get the Chinese people at the airport and start taking everybody's temperature.
Yeah.
Or whatever, something like that is pretty easy to do.
They'll have to quarantine people, man. You can't have new people coming in with diseases. You have to quarantine people, put them in whatever accommodation for a couple of days, test them immediately.
Well, that's how it's all. That's what it's been. It's all from Iran or Italy or the people from the Japanese boat, right?
Yeah.
That's like all of our cases in the U.S.
Yeah. Now, I think a few days ago they also confirmed something in New Hampshire or Maine or Vermont, one of the northern states.
Oh, Rhode Island.
Rhode Island. Okay.
Yeah.
So if it's in Rhode Island, which is right here, near, that's near Connecticut, and New York is on this side, so Connecticut is sandwiched between Rhode Island and New York. If somebody's traveled there, boom. I mean, if it's in a certain area, it's quite possible some more people got it.
Oh yeah. No, 100%.
Right. And on the West Coast, California, Oregon, and Washington, the three contiguous states there, they have confirmed they have some cases.
Right. The populated centers, right, where the people come into the airport.
Right. Right. And California, I think it was mostly Northern California. I think.
Oh, and
right?
In
it
San
wasn't
Diego
southern.
Too. I think one of them was San Diego, I thought.
Oh, San Diego? How south is San Diego?
It's like right on the border of Mexico.
Okay. Isn't that like a warmer area?
It's a what?
Isn't it pretty warm out there? I'm surprised.
Yeah, it's warm.
But it doesn't. It doesn't matter. I mean, maybe somebody who was already infected went there.
Yeah.
But the spread, I believe it's not going to spread that fast if you're in warmer weather, just by virtue of being one of the influenza viruses.
That's the expectation, right?
Well, we can't really just categorize as an expectation. We know influenza viruses do not survive well in warm, humid climes. We know that. So it's not like an expectation. I think it's a pretty good educated conclusion. It's not an expectation. It's a conclusion. Now, the expectation also, of course, we expect and we hope that, but it's not a very vague expectation. It's pretty well understood one. Now, it would be extremely surprising if it did not behave like that.
Well, that's good then. I mean,
so that's another thing, that we are on the cusp of warmer weather now. Spring is around the corner. 2 to 3 weeks of closing schools is not going to kill anybody. But not closing might kill a few people.
Yeah, right. Yep. Let's see, what else is there? What's funny too is that's killing twice as many men as women, which is odd. Well, maybe it's not odd. It sounds odd to me. What else? The new virus is genetically 96% identical to a known coronavirus in bats and 86 to 92% identical to a coronavirus in pangolin. Therefore, the transmission of a mutated virus from animals to humans is the most likely cause of the appearance of the new virus. Supposedly, says the WHO.
Yeah.
But whatever. Anyway, so a virus, would, like you said, most the science is that it gets hotter, it's going to be harder for it to travel around and to thrive. Well, we'll see. Looks like Florida got one too, right? That's what I'm reading in this article. Florida.
Wow.
Florida. Jesus. So Florida, probably like these big, densely populated areas. Let's see, 2 new presumptive positive cases were identified in Florida. Doesn't say where. So one in Manhattan. Good.
Yep. That one that I just spoke about is in Manhattan. The lady returned from Iran. It seems late 30s she is.
And she got back from Iran.
Yeah.
She was already in before they started the travel ban, or the ingress ban.
Yeah. Yep.
Dude, that's what I've been reading is that Iran's having some problems. They've had like some of their government people dying from this stuff.
Oh yeah, exactly, man. It seems the ironical situation is the person who was heading the battle against coronavirus himself died.
Oh, right. Oh, man. You imagine what like someone from the CDC here like died of it?
Yeah, it's like our
low,
secretary or head of CDC. Yeah,
Jeez.
yeah, yeah. People, I think this message should be out there, man. People should start talking to their schools and say, hey, let's just close schools for 2 to 3 weeks. Let's buy some time.
Yeah.
I think this is the most important thing that should
right?
be happening. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I don't see
And, you know,
the downside.
make it hot and humid in the house, run the humidifiers or whatever. I mean, in the house, it doesn't matter. If one of you is infected, I guess it's going to spread to others very quickly inside a house. But generally, in other places, if you can, in your office, whatever, run a humidifier if you really have to be there. Increase the humidity. Make it hot and humid. I know it's going to be uncomfortable. Guess what? You won't be dead.
Mm-hmm. Everybody go to Florida. Everybody go to Florida for the time. You know.
Yeah.
Free trips to Mexico.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's the only way that it's going to spread, right? By people not going around. Because if you're stuck in the house and one person's infected, well, I guess everybody's getting it, but it's not going anywhere else, you know? And then,
yeah.
Otherwise, yeah, it just keeps spreading. Highly contagious, pretty damaging, kind of serious flu. But the interesting thing, too, that also is, let's think about that. So they said that the cases are leveling off in China. That's not a factor of being warmer, I don't think, yet. But, and there's still some of the factories supposedly are coming back online. So maybe all the numbers are just from the Wuhan.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I mean, they have everything on tight lockdown, so you would expect the cases to be leveling off because of that.
Yeah, that's true. Can't move around, right? But even with people going back to work, that's what I'm wondering. I don't know how many. I'm just, just anecdotally, that's what I've been reading and hearing, that, hey, we've got this factory back up. They're producing the Teslas again. Apple's got factories back online. They said I'd like most or all or something like that. There are people back to work in Beijing and stuff like that. But then there's still the other stuff where you've seen those maps of like the pollution, like the air pollution is all cleared up right now because there's just not much activity. Nope. You hear me, buddy?
Yeah, I can hear you.
There we go. Okay. Here, I'm going to send you this one that I was reading. But I'm sure you can find it real easy.
Yeah, I can Google it as well.
Yeah.
I'm just looking at some Wuhan province right now.
Did Amazon say no international or no travel period, like for all their company or something like that?
I hope so, because that would be good.
I guess it must not be all the company. They're still delivering boxes. It must be for like, I guess, I don't know, travel. Maybe it's international. I got to look it up.
Yeah.
Let's see. Is it Amazon bans travel? No more. Oh, they can't stop the package people from coming now. I said Amazon halts all employee travel. It said, bans non-essential employee travel. Yeah, see, like that. That's what everybody needs to do. That's right. That's what the companies and the school districts need to do. It's not essential. Just right. Why do you need to do it?
Yeah. Non-essential, man. Most travel is non-essential.
Yeah.
You don't have to be at the office. If you spend your entire day writing emails and making phone calls in your office, your travel is non-essential.
Right. Why do you even need to be in the office,
Right.
Well, one thing I hope that happens from all this is that people take very seriously about having the supply chain in China, having so much, being so dependent on that. And number two, about remote work, that like most of your people, the way you've got stuff set up, like they don't need to come into an office all the time and not just spread the Wuhan virus, to spread the normal flu and colds, Like, what do you need people there for? Just keep them home, do it remote. It makes more sense. It's cheaper for them. It's like less time, less stress. People don't get sick. I wish more companies are doing that, but that's one thing I hope that comes of this, is that they consider that as kind of a just a way that business is done,
Yeah.
Technology is available. The world's different. You don't need to, you have to have a meeting. There's Skype, right? It's been around for
what's the advantage
30
of
years.
all these? Right. What's the advantage of all these technological advancements if you cannot take advantage of them?
Right. Exactly. Right. Yep. Yeah. Right. All these advancements, and yet everyone's got to drive 45 minutes into work every day and back home, in the traffic. For what? Just because people feel funny, like they don't know how to manage teams remotely.
Right.
Because they just can't get a grip on it. Like this. I've talked to people before too, who are like, owners or managers of companies. They get all like itchy when you try and like, like suggest that, like, hey, you could just do this remotely, right? Do the company, they think, no one's gonna work like that or whatever, but it's all just a management strategy. It's if you set up and you have good management, then what's the difference?
And
there is none.
And practice it throughout the year. Give them one day a week. Okay, work from home this day, and this is what you'll have to accomplish. Get this done. And if you can get that done, you're in practice. You get things done. Sure, it might be a little slower. Maybe it'll be better. Who cares?
Yeah, right. You can change it. Change it and get out of China. That's going to take you a while. It's going to take some time, but figure it out.
Yeah.
It's not SARS, it's Wuhan virus, and then it's something else.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, you're 100% right about that. That's what they need to do. That'd be a great place to start. Just, hey, everybody, you get a second Christmas break,
Yeah.
If they want to, they just, they do it for snow days, right? They get a week off of school because of snow. They make it up later if they need to, whatever.
Yeah.
Push it back.
Listen, man, I don't even care about making. What are you making up?
Yeah, no, I know.
What really are you making up? You don't need to make up. Whatever portion you thought you were going to cover, just cut that off from that year. Don't.
Yeah.
Don't even bother.
Well, that's
these whole goals, whatever they have, these common goals and common core. Dude, you're not churning out geniuses. You're never going to do it anyways. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Be smart. Teach them to react to these. This is exactly what your schooling should do for you. If you're the older people, the older generation, and you're in power, you are a governor or whatever you're doing, right? A secretary of education. This is exactly what your education should have taught you, how to react to these situations.
Yeah. Well, that's the problem, right? Too many people who were afraid to do things differently or to think, to engineer something better,
Yeah.
So, right, we're stuck with, right, the kids go to school for 8 days or 5 days a week. Like, come on, they really need to do that? Like, our school is just bullshit anyway. Like, you don't learn anything.
The whole year that you go to school, all this can be taught in an interesting way within a month.
Yeah.
My personal experience in school, never did anything at school. Studied the previous night. That's it. And I learned everything that previous night. And I did not forget any of it. No issue.
My problem is that they don't teach enough practical, useful things in school, like there should be There should be a lot more different stuff, you know.
Yeah. Make it interesting.
So that's a good one. They should do it. You're right, because we're just gonna have more of these. It's gonna be from whoever else is in the country. You know, they should be knocking on people's doors who just came in from all these countries, right? If you came in and you went through Spain and Italy, if you went through Iran, if you went through China, in the past month, they should be knocking on people's doors and doing some tests.
In schools and airports, people are in more close proximity. And airport as in not walking or sitting in the lounge. When you're actually in the airplane, when you are talking to people across the desk, when you're standing in line, that's close proximity.
Yeah.
You're not going to get this at a mall or at a Walmart. Those places may seem like, oh no, I shouldn't go to Walmart. There are all sorts of people. Yeah, that's true. But you're never in close proximity. Unless you're one of those creeps who's going to... Yeah, it's tight, but listen, dude, nobody's sneezing in front of you. And how many times has somebody sneezed in front of you in Walmart?
They do. I don't like places like that. That's why I got Amazon, because I was tired of going to Walmart, people coughing and sneezing, and like, God, I hate that.
Dude.
I was at the grocery store today, and some girl was 10 feet in front of me, and she, sneezed or coughed, and I was like, held my breath all the way through.
Well, what I mean is, yeah, exactly. Well, there are exceptions, right? In line, yes, I understand. Mm-hmm. But if you have a self-checkout, like what Walmart has been doing, you're not in a line. Yeah, you're in a line waiting for the self-checkout. Don't stand in line. Change your habits. Wander around, maintain 10, 15 feet distance. Don't let that droplet hit you, or wear a mask. That's fine. But you can't wear a mask at school all day.
No, you're right. School is like the ultimate, right? That's why, like you said, the kids are just like bring back all the sickness. They're always getting sick because they're there kids, all day.
Right, and secondly, very little kids. Firstly, they're in very close proximity, and number two, they're going to touch their noses. They're going to They're going to cough in each other's faces. They're going to do that. Yeah. They're not going to use hand sanitizer and wash their hands very well every time. Yeah. That's why they're called kids. And it's completely avoidable. And it's absolutely doable. Yeah. That's number one. And then all non-essential personnel at your office. If you are going to office, you're an accountant or one of those things where you are constantly in front of a computer, and you're making phone calls or you are, typing numbers and crunching numbers, you don't need to be in the office. You can be at home.
Yeah.
Offices need to make this decision. And the first offices that can make this decision are government offices.
Yep.
State government can say this, feds can say this, and get it done.
Yep.
Plain and simple.
You're right. That's what they should do. That should have been the announcement, like, hey guys, we're jumping on this. We're shutting down, flight from these places, or if you come to these places, you have required quarantine, and we're going to shut down the schools, or whatever. They got to work with the state governments, Talk to the governors,
Yeah.
Hey, we're all agreed to shutting down schools for 2 weeks. And encouraging all employers, for if you don't need a job, have everybody be at home, there.
Set the example quickly. Make that decision. So private employers can also say, oh, yeah, you know what? If they can do it, we can do it. Let's get this done.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We can get this done. And guess what? Listen, the bottom line is proximity. People are still free to move around. You can still get in your car. You can go to a gas station. Let me ask you this. When you go to a gas station or filling up your car, how many times do you come in close proximity with another person?
Yeah, hardly ever.
You don't. Yeah, exactly. You can do many things. And I know I keep hopping on the Walmart example because guess what? It is America's place to buy.
Yeah. Yep.
Because people go there physically. Amazon, it gets delivered. I understand. But other than Amazon, everybody's at a Walmart. Everybody. Walmart, Target. Okay, I'll throw Target in. I'll throw Home Depot in. No issues there. But that's what it is, man.
Well, even Walmart now, this would be a great time for them to advertise their new, right? They're trying to push the delivery thing, right? Say, like, hey, we do delivery too. They should run some commercials.
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
Delivery or the pickup at the curb or whatever.
Yeah, pick up at the curb. Hannaford does it.
Yeah.
You can order your groceries, and somebody will come with a bag in the cart. And if you don't want to, you don't need to shake hands with them. They're not going to breathe over you. And tell your employees, wear a mask.
Right.
Boom. You go there, everybody's comfortable. They put it in their cars. They have a mask, so they're not sneezing on you. And if you sneeze, they have a mask, and they're kind of protected. Boom. All this can be achieved. This is good training. People are already doing it for different reasons. They were doing this to please customers, but now this is going to help us. These are the tools we have already developed without having this as an intended consequence or intended plan. This wasn't part of the plan, but it fits the bill.
Yeah, come on, look, if everybody did it just for a month, not that long.
Yeah. Dude, you're going to slam the brakes on this.
Yeah. Yeah, I wasn't.
And you're still free. You can still go out and do everything you want as long as you're maintaining distance.
Yeah.
That's the beauty of it. We can contain a contagion and still retain our freedoms.
Yeah. Yeah, I wasn't. I was the whole response to this that came from the federal government was confusing to me because of everything I've been reading about it,
Yeah.
I was like,
confusing.
look, they're trying to tell everybody not to panic, but it just makes people panic anyway, number one.
No, Trump is saying it's not inevitable, don't worry. And then CDC, the scientists at CDC or the doctors, he's saying, well, it's inevitable. They contradicted themselves within seconds. And then he's constantly patting his back, and then Pence comes around and is patting Trump's back for blocking people from banning people from traveling. Okay, I got it. Yes, great job, buddy. But you don't need to repeat it. What you need to say or plan at that moment is what you're going to do in future.
Right. There's no telegraphing of that. Like, hey, here's the whole plan, right? Like, not just now, let's wait for more bad stuff to happen, like, hey, here's the whole plan, we thought it through. Yeah, I don't know, that's why it confused me too. I was like, is it not as bad as I think it is, like, because of this? That's what it made me kind of think, but I'm like, I don't know. Then everything I'm reading, I'm like, well, maybe it's just worse in China because they're China, and everybody's shitting on the floor, but I don't know.
No, dude. Yeah, if we were attacked, if we were attacked, no, go ahead. What were you saying?
I'm just saying, even if not, there's no downside, like you said. Like, what's the downside to overreacting? Just a little bit, like
exactly. If people don't go to if people don't travel to office, there's no downside. The upside is they're going to save some gas.
Right.
And you are going to save on electricity because you don't have to heat or cool the office that much. Your terminals are going to be switched off. It's a win-win. And you just trained your people to react in an emergency.
Yep, exactly. Which we do not do well, right?
We do not.
Coordinating
all
these
do well.
people. Yeah, we don't do well.
Like, if there's a nuclear disaster, and I'm not saying nuclear bomb, something like happened at a reactor, Fukushima, or Chernobyl.
Right.
The fallout. How are we going to react without completely giving up our freedom to travel and move around? This is exactly how you're going to do it.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, there's very little engineering in our society. And there's the heavy-handed way, which is China, which is like, like I said, the people there, they don't wait in line, so it's like That's how they do. Like, hey, look, everybody, we're locking you in your apartment. This is how it's going to be. Too bad if you go out, you're going to jail, or you're disappearing. It doesn't have to be like that. You have intelligent people who are free. If you can still engineer stuff, like you said, that'd be fantastic if we had a just people understood like this is how we're going to react in an emergency situation. And when there's danger, we got to coordinate. There's millions of people. And this is what you do in those cases, So we're definitely. I mean, we're lacking in a lot of places, but that's one for sure. That's important.
And
that's
the
a hole
thing
that
is,
needs to be plugged.
it's not even and the thing is, it's not even difficult to do.
Yeah, right.
These steps are not some drastic steps like, oh, everybody quarantine, complete lockdown, nobody on the road, we don't want people to travel. That's not what we're doing.
Right.
I mean, at least that's not what we are suggesting of doing.
Yeah.
Of course, they're not.
Right.
No.
Right, and you can prevent it from coming to that, right, by taking measures like this.
Right. Then the fear will take over. There'll be mass hysteria. People will go out and, empty out the shelves, and then that's it.
Right?
Yeah.
Right, that's what happens, People
panic
know
buying,
what's going
panic
on.
selling.
The stock market's all crazy. Everybody's panicking.
Right. Price gouging, then people hitting each other, stealing this, that. Yeah, all that can happen. And, dude, if people start dying in families, people are going to go crazy.
Yeah, oh yeah. Well, dude, that's why, look, hopefully Bernie becomes the dictator and saves us all, He could engineer this stuff. We give him all power.
Right.
And then we're good.
Yeah.
We can do
no, seriously, people really need to hear this message, man. And schools, it's easy to do that. Non-essential travel, just do it, government. Do it for 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Set the example. Everybody else will follow. Things will fall in place.